Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today I'm going to do a continuation reading for the sign of Pisces. This is for mid-October 2022. If you didn't see the first video, if you're a new subscriber, would be fantastic. I was going to say, if you're newly coming onto my channel, you might want to go ahead and review that. I do have a playlist for Pisces. If you go to my channel and find that, you will also see it posted kind of at the end of the video. There's a little pop-up that comes up in the right-hand corner, and also at the very end of the video is the last video that I posted, which would be for October 2022. If you're returning, I don't think I need to explain too much. This is a continuation from your October 2022 reading, where we were looking at you having to make a decision about a work situation. There was some kind of change that needed to happen, and it needed to happen as soon as possible. You were also involved with a fire sign, like some kind of new relationship that had just started up for you, Pisces. So what I've done here is I've laid out some cards asking about this work situation, how it has turned out for you, what kind of decision you had to make, something along those lines. And then here we have cards laid out just to kind of give an overview of how this relationship is going with this possible fire sign. I don't remember the card that this person was represented by, so I can't say off the top of my head what it was, unfortunately, but if you go back and review that video, if you're curious, it's in there. And then I have cards of advice. So let's go ahead and get started. Nine of Spades, okay. King of Hearts. And Five of Spades. I'm not surprised about this at all. So this is the card of changes needing to happen. And a severe disruption in your routine. So I'm getting the sense that you did make changes in this workplace, which is good. This work situation. In the workplace, or either you left the job altogether. I'm leaning towards you left the job altogether, Pisces. If you haven't done so, I think you're on the cusp of doing that. This is literally like the breakup card in relationships. So I would certainly see, our relationship with our employer. It's a different type of relationship, but it's certainly a type of relationship, right? It's a one-on-one of sorts. It's just you and the employer. Everybody has a different experience of being employed by that person or that company, right? King of Hearts. I'm actually very glad to see this because I think you're finally taking control of this situation and following your heart. In general, this is kind of the fatherly, loving fatherly guidance card. It can be a person represented with this card. It could be you, just because it's a water sign, or a Scorpio or a Cancer. I do feel like in this work situation, though, you're finally taking control and perhaps looking after your own self, much like a father would gently guide, their child in the right direction with kindness and sincere concern for their best interests. That's what I'm trying to get out here. The Nine of Spades is interesting because, again, this is telling me that you've completed something here. And I do think you kind of walked away from this, dare I say, crappy-ass work situation. Whatever was going on, we didn't see details on that, but if it pertains to you, you would know what that means. There's still a feeling of loss around it. I think you're still kind of experiencing some dissatisfaction, perhaps, of how it turned out. Interestingly, also to point out, this Nine of Spades and this Five of Spades, it's all about changes being forced upon you. So what I was getting with the Nine of Spades when I was paused there for a second is like this was necessary. You had to do this. You didn't want to necessarily, but it was that bad. Situation was that bad. And I did say that in the last reading, that you just needed to make changes there. There was something serious going on that was affecting you. And I think you took control of that with the King of Hearts. But I'm going to ask for more cards, please. Tell me what Pisces is going through mid-October 2022. Four of Spades. Yeah, see, now your home life and how you're feeling at home and your stability. This is about basically the quality of your lifestyle. It's still very secure and stable here. So I don't think you lost income. I don't think you went through a period of scrambling around trying to find a job quickly necessarily if you left. But this is also the card that talks about coming out of a period of stress, and now you're experiencing stress relief around the home life. Very nice. Very nice. I think that's where you're headed. If you're, like I said, if you're not already experiencing that, I think that's what you're about to experience here. And look, you got another spade. This is all spades except for this king. Notice that? Yeah. And that king is all about you taking care of number one, which would be you. Six of Spades talks about destiny and fate. This was fated. This had to happen. This was a big step for you. I think there was resistance on your part to take this step. I think I kind of saw that with this feeling of disappointment and loss here. Obviously, you weren't gleefully walking away saying, ha ha ha, I've won. No, there was actually I'm hearing disappointment and not quite sadness. I wouldn't say you're crying in a corner into a pillow. Not quite that dramatic. It's just, I think it was really hard for you to get to this place to take a stand. You probably were in this work situation for a while, and it's kind of like leaving something that's familiar. It's leaving old friends. It's all of that. It's like, honestly, every time I've had a job that ultimately I didn't end up liking, there was always people around that I would miss. Even if I didn't like the job itself or the management, it's the coworkers that make the difference, right? Now, sometimes it's the other way around. You got the coworkers that really you can't work with for whatever reason, but there's usually somebody you're like, oh, damn, now I don't get to talk to them anymore. I don't get to see them anymore. I mean, if you're close enough, I guess you can exchange numbers. I don't know. I don't think that's done as much as it used to be in the past. People just don't make connections that quickly. I think it's harder and harder as time goes by. Wouldn't you agree? Anything else you can tell me about this work situation with Pisces for mid-October? Gosh, the cards are not really talking. Might take... Okay. Two of Diamonds. Yeah, you're looking good in your financial area here. So you didn't suffer financially, which is very good news. Very good news. This is about investments, good messages around money. It's also about having relationships that are financially secure. So, if you are involved with somebody or you have a family or kids, all of that is secure. It's very solid. This didn't spill over into that and cause hardship. So I think that's another confirmation from the universe that you made the right decision, because it was just about you getting out of a stressful situation. That Four of Spades talking about the recent stress relief. Let's look at this relationship with this potential fire sign that we were looking at. Well, this looks like new opportunities and options coming up for you. This does talk more about the material world, though, and taking financial responsibility. It's like budgeting, it's paying off debt. It's also maybe possibly having to travel for some reason, so there's some money going out towards that, or repairing a vehicle. I'm going to have to pull some more cards to see how it relates to that relationship, though. Well, here is some emotion. Johnny on the spot, as they say. This is about being very social and hanging out and having fun and going to parties, hanging out with friends, family, whatnot. But also about meeting a person who potentially is going to be very significant. Now, we did talk about somebody I think you've already met. It's possible this is confirming that, yeah, that person is going to become more of a permanent fixture in your life, someone who influences you, makes some very positive changes, or you're moving on. Let's see what we have here. We've got 2 cards on this one. King of Spades and the 5 of Clubs. Okay, well, you may be thinking you need to get out of that relationship with that fire sign. Only because it came out with this, sorry, it's hard to do with this with one hand, but this King of Spades, it's not a fire sign energy, it's actually an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But if that person has that in their chart, or this represents them, so this person has caused some kind of problem. Doesn't mean they're malicious, doesn't mean, you know, they're up to no good. It just means there's been some kind of disagreements, you're not on the same page, you're not seeing eye to eye, that kind of problem. And the 5 of Clubs here talks about the changes that need to happen because you're kind of stuck in a rut, and just things need to be moved around. I'm hearing moved around a bit. Not necessarily, you know, moving to a new place, just like physically, but moving past this relationship, or the relationship itself needs to change. It does seem like with the 8 of Hearts, though, you're still very social and very open to meeting the love of your life here, if they're not the one. And you got a lot of options here in your financial realm, so I think whatever's going on with that relationship so far, it's not what you wanted it to be necessarily, but you're fine otherwise. Emotionally you're fine, and materially you're fine. Let's see if we can get any more cards, please, for Pisces' new relationship with the October fire sign that we were looking at. King of Diamonds. Looks like you're taking some control over your finances, or perhaps you've met an earth sign. This could be the potential person that, with this 8 of Hearts that you've met, you may not be aware that they're going to be significant in your life. Keep that in mind. It could just be somebody, it means you've met somebody and you're going to be seeing them again. But we're looking at an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. This person has very good head on their shoulders about finances, the material world. They're strong. They're an authority figure. They have some power. They can even be somebody who has an entrepreneurial spirit, or they have their own business already. But they're very smart. They're very smart. Like I said, materially, this is a very strong person. And I'm actually picking it up that that's somebody you've met. I don't think that's you. For some reason. My intuition is saying that's somebody you've met. So keep that in mind, an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Anything else you can tell me about Pisces' social life here? The social life that's going on. Pisces has a kind of a poppin' little social life. 6 of Hearts. Yes, you're going to have opportunities in the area of love and emotions, and things just going really well in relationships. This is also about, sorry, I kind of drifted off there for a second, but I was thinking, this is also about getting over past relationships. Not necessarily this fire sign that we were trying to pull out here, okay? This could have been like in the distant past, like a past marriage, something that serious that was more committed and long-term. It means you've dropped your baggage and you were open and ready for new experiences in relationships. So this is a very positive card as far as relationships go. It's also about just a general sense of peace, and harmony just kind of existing in this area of your life, which is good. So you don't have anything over the top going on. You don't have like this big raging love affair going on. You don't have marital discourse or partnership discourse going on. You're just kind of, I think you're going with the flow here. And you're open to meeting new people. That's good. You're not getting stuck on people that aren't quite your ideal. And look at that. Yes, you're headed towards your ultimate happiness. This is as good as it gets, Pisces. It doesn't get any better. It's also about the major cycle completing. And I'm going to tell you that I think you're on this trajectory because you have 2 6s. Those talk about new opportunities. So if you haven't met the love of your life, the opportunities and the doors are going to open for you there. I do think this King of Diamonds might have a lot to do with that, but that remains to be seen. Let's not jump to conclusions with that. This is definitely saying that you're about to complete some kind of cycle, though. Perhaps some lessons you needed to learn with this relationship and the past relationships you've had on a whole in your past, right? Again, this is celebration. This is great news. This is going out to parties, and it doesn't get any better than that. So let's look at your cards of advice. I don't think they're going to say much about your social life. Well, you never know. They may. 7 of Hearts. Again, we're talking about emotions, and here I was saying, oh, I don't think we're going to talk about relationships. This could be connected with this. So I just ate my words. We are going to talk about this relationship, at least with the 7 of Hearts. This is about you feeling let down, disappointed, people being unreliable. I call it the broken heart card. And that's just kind of a feeling that I attach to it. It's almost like putting someone on a pedestal, but not quite that dramatic. It's just that you had a lot more hopes and enthusiasm, and it looks like you're getting let down there. 9 of Clubs. You are feeling content, though, and you've achieved some kind of progress in your life. This is usually around jobs and promotion. Well, duh, of course you did. So that part of your life is definitely an achievement. Let's see what else comes out in the realm of advice, though. Jack of Hearts. So you're feeling very vulnerable at the moment. This could be a person. I don't think so, though. I tend to see this Jack of Hearts come out when we're feeling like, our heart is open to the world. We're open to meeting new people, which we definitely saw through there, but there's a certain vulnerability around it, right? Jack is less experienced than a queen or a king. It's also about youth and being younger. You could be feeling young at heart. You could be meeting younger people. But generally there's that feeling of vulnerability because you're putting yourself out there. I haven't seen any cards of you turning into a hermit or wanting to turn inside. So let's see what else advice we can pull out on these positive notes. Except it looks like you're experiencing the 7 of Hearts with the current situation. I do think it's that King of Spades, which again I think is that fire sign we were talking about in the last reading. You are embarking on a new start in your finances, and of course you are, because you left this work situation behind. This is about desiring also a new financial picture. Like, let's say you're used to earning X amount of dollars per year. You want to bump that up. You're actually looking to make more. You're looking for promotion. You're looking for more job satisfaction and reward, of course. What else? Advice? Can you give Pisces? Oh, too many cards. Too many cards. There we go. Yep, things are kind of up in the air at the moment with this black and white Joker energy. It's also the Fool energy. The Fool, if you've ever heard me talk about the Fool is open to new possibilities, and you certainly do have a lot out here. You have 3 6s. 1 there and 2 up here. It's also about not necessarily anticipating or seeing what's headed your way, which can be scary, but it's also a good thing. It means you don't have any expectations in any particular direction. You're not like bracing yourself for the other shoe to drop, but you're also not overly ambitious or, that's not really a good way to put it, overly enthusiastic, like unreasonable expectations. You don't have that going on with this card. But things are definitely in the air for you in general. This line of advice, Pisces, talked about things going really well in your material world, your financial sector, aka your work sector. The relationship here that you thought was going to turn into something obviously is not. You're feeling the disappointment in that, which means you're going to do something about it. If you're not recognizing the signs, you don't do anything about it. You know, it's that simple, right? But you are here. This means you're present with what's going on in that area. And you're feeling a sense of achievement, I think, because you walked away from this crappy ass job situation, whatever it was, anything under the sun. And your heart is open. So you got two dual themes that are going to continue to go on in your readings here, Pisces, but I think it's looking very good. Just expect things to be kind of up in the air, like I say, and don't have any expectations for what comes your way. The best thing to do is to be in the flow. Just let things come and go as they need to, and if they don't work for you, you kick them out. Like with the Seven of Hearts, if you're feeling like, this isn't doing it for me, you move on. Right on there. Okay. Excellent reading. Excellent. I hope it helped. If you want to see when the next readings come out, go ahead and hit subscribe and notifications. You will see when the next video comes out. We're probably looking at November, because I am going on my second little trip here for another week in October, and I just won't be able to get around to bonus readings, but I do try to do that third reading when I can get to them. Okay, I will see you again soon. Take care.